Hey everyone, I'm Dan Barefoot checking in from sunny Los Angeles, California.
And I'm MJ, broadcasting from the beautiful Bogota, Colombia.
Hey
Welcome to
MJ.
today's episode of StreamIt. Yes, Dan, it's still pretty chilly up here as always. You know that.
I think it's always chilly there.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, we're wrapping up summer here and it's still sizzling hot here in LA. More importantly, today's session has been a hot topic in our industry and promises to be one of our most engaging yet. We have a standout guest and a story that's making waves across our industry.
that's right, Dan. Our guest today, Ilya Friel, brings an impressive track record.
Mhm.
Executive positions with industry leaders like Cytex, Matan, Bourgeois, and more.
And now Eliav is leading business development at Nur Ink Innovations. With the company's new developments, this really promises to be a fascinating discussion.
Exactly, Dan. We really cover a story about Nur Ink's breakthrough, powderless DTF ink. And it's already become one of our most read stories so far.
And a quick side note, Nur is based in Rosh Ain, Israel, just outside of Tel Aviv. Hey, here's a fun fact. The city calls itself the City of Music. And here's something cool. Eliav actually has a degree in music. I don't usually share this, but I also minored in music when I was in university. Okay, back to the discussion. This is not about me.
Well, then, with both of you having music in your background, maybe we'll have to save a duet for the end of the show.
I don't think
But
so.
but first things first, let's get into today's topic. It's time to welcome our guest, Ilya Priel.
Hey, Eliav,
Hello, everybody.
it's really a pleasure to have you with us today. And Eliav, there's also another musician in our midst who loves to sing and play piano, right, MJ? So maybe we can do a trio.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome, welcome.
Welcome,
You're
Ilya.
on.
As I mentioned earlier, you've held leadership roles with some of the most innovative companies in the industry. And we always like to hear about the journey behind the professional. So, if you could tell us, how did you first get started in the graphics industry?
Yes.
So, good morning, good afternoon to everybody, depending on where you're from. Thank you very much, Dan and MJ, for having me. It's an honor and a pleasure. Very briefly about myself, because the discussion is not about me, but about the company and the products.
Mhm.
My name is Eliav. I started my career in the printing industry back in 1990 when I started working for Cytex back then. And in the digital printing around 1995, when Cytex started selling wide format digital printers made by Idanit back in the time, and then
Oh, wow.
by yes, and also by Nur macro printers. We're closing a loop. That was 20 years
Wow.
ago
No
when I was
kidding.
selling Nur macro printers working for Cytex, and now running one of Nur companies. After Cytex was sold in parts to HP and Kodak, I left Cytex and joined a Czech company called Mega Ink. And that's when I started my career in the ink business. Following that, I worked for Matan EFI here in Israel, being their VP sales for the grand format digital printers developed by Matan EFI here in Israel. Then Bordeaux Inks, again, focusing on inks. And since Nur Ink Innovations was established back in the late 2018, I'm running the day-to-day operations and business development of Nur Ink Innovations.
Wow, that's a great story. We appreciate you really sharing that with us. Um, I'm reminding of a time early in my career, probably in the mid 80s, I would guess, when I worked with a startup in Copenhagen, Denmark called Scanview. And funny enough, our VP of sales who came from Cytex used to tell us every morning, when you look in the mirror, ask yourself, are you a winner or a loser? I know it was intense, but I found it very motivating. I
I,
used it with
you
some
know,
of,
I love those, but the thing I have in a mirror when I wash my face in the morning is, did you do your best yesterday, and what better can you do today?
Oh, I love
I'm,
that version.
Being positive,
well,
right?
yeah, it's more positive, I think. Did I do my best yesterday, or am I going to do better today? I think that's a great way to do it.
Yeah.
Hey, since we mentioned your music background a bit earlier, and I know this is not about you per se. You're of course the presenter, but could you share a little bit more about your musical background?
Of course. As a child, I played the violin, and I majored in violin. And they say, mainly my mother says I was great, and I was, yeah. I did my degree in arts in Curtis Institute of Music in Philadelphia, which is one of the best music schools in the world still today. And somewhere around the age of 23 or 24, I quit that career because of an injury in my left hand of over practicing. And
Wow.
I had to take a break, a medical break, and then I never came back from that medical break. And that was it.
Do you play at all today or no?
No. I'm a compulsive listener.
Well, that makes all of us, we're all compulsive listeners as well.
Yeah.
And but I really appreciate that. One of the things we find most interesting about these sessions, MJ, is hearing unique journeys that people take in the industry. And there's certainly no doubt about Eliav. His journey is very unique.
I agree completely, Dan. The history and the career shifts we've heard about are truly fascinating. And now let's turn to the main focus of our discussion, Nur Ink Innovations, its history, its vision, and its innovative products. And yes, what many of us are anticipating, a demonstration of the new powderless DTF ink. But before we get there, Ilya, please share with us the story of Nur Ink Innovations.
Okay, thank you, MJ. I will do this briefly because, again, the main topic here is the product, and that's what interests our viewers most, your viewers more than the company. So go ahead. The company was established back, as I said, at the end of 2018. We are an R&D focused company when about 80% of the employees of Nur Ink Innovations are R&D or testing qualifiers. So you can see that the focus is definitely on R&D. We were supported by 4 projects funded by the Israel Innovation Authority, which is a very advanced innovation authority. We have 6 patents, actually 7 already, patents in different stages, 3 already granted to different ink chemistry technologies. We have already 3 commercial ink supply agreements and in place, and I will explain a little more about our business model later on. We address different markets and technologies with a total addressable market value of more than $80 billion yearly. And foremost, we focus on the research, development, and manufacturing of, in general, one thing and one thing only, and that's water-based pigment ink solutions, only for inkjet, only for digital printing. We don't do solvent-based or eco-solvent or UV curable or disperse or dye sublimation inks. We focus only on water-based pigment ink technologies. The company is managed by very, very experienced and seasoned leadership, headed by Moshe Nur, the founder, the CEO, and the chairman of the board of the company. Moshe Nur might be known to some of you as a pioneer in the wide format digital printing industry, founded Nur Macroprinters back in the early 90s. Nur Macroprinters was then sold to HP and is part of HP Cytex even today. Later on, Moshe founded Kornit Digital Printers back in 2002, and other companies in different areas, also in digital printing, but not only. His latest startup is Nur Digital Techs, which we will discuss later on, and of course, Nur Ink Innovations. I'm the Chief Business Officer of the company. Dr. Moshe Nakash is our VP R&D and CTO, brings with him many, many years of experience managing different projects and developing products for the printing and digital printing industry in companies like Digiflex, Kodak, and others. He heads a group of very, very experienced chemists and material engineers. Sarel Ashkenazi is a director in the company and an advisor to the management team. Brings with him over 25 years of business experience in the digital textile printing, after serving as the EVP of Sales and Business Development for Kornit Digital. Specifically in Kornit, Sarel was in charge of the special account called Amazon and the special deal that Kornit signed with Amazon a few years back. David Jerby is our CFO. Let's continue to the next slide, please. Okay. And after saying that we are focusing on one technology, which is water-based pigment inks, we have a mission, and that is to become a world leader in supplying environmentally friendly water-based pigment ink solutions for different markets, different technologies, and different applications. And some of them are going to be discussed today, and some are non-related to the discussion today, but could be, for an example, special inks for wallpapers, for outdoor advertising, etc. When we develop a product, we have a lot of prerequisites that we predefine to ourselves, and every product that we manufacture must adhere to standards and regulations, worldwide regulations and standards, such as GOTS and Oecotex and others. We strive to contribute to waste reduction. We only use the best possible available raw materials, even if we pay double or triple, and I'm serious about this. Our products contribute to replacing polluting products like solvent-based or UV curable inks or other analog inks even. All of our products are environmentally friendly, and they contribute also to water and energy savings. And now I would like to focus a little bit about the product that we have gathered here to discuss, and that's the powder-free DTF ink that we are launching soon, and we call it nothing but a game-changing solution. Mm-hmm. Imagine a DTF printer that some of you might have in your shop, but there's no powder in the powder shaker. As simple as that, meaning no change to the printer, no change to the oven, just turn off the powder application and shaking mechanism. This results in a much cleaner and quieter environment. It eliminates the need for a shaker and applicator. It's a one-step solution, sorry, a much more efficient system. The elimination of the powder not only is healthier and cleaner, but also results in cost saving. The powder does cost money. While, of course, one of your first questions will be, okay, how much more expensive is your ink going to be? Well, it's not. It allows for unattended operation. Once you don't have to maintain the powder system, you can load a roll onto the printer, say print, go home for the night, and tomorrow morning you're going to have a roll ready for cutting and processing. And of course, once you don't have the powder, the overall quality and stability of the prints is guaranteed because, again, you're eliminating that factor of powder, which sometimes is perfect, sometimes it's not. Too much powder, not enough powder, powder ended from the canister, etc., etc. All these issues are out of the game. Next, please. If that wasn't enough to launch a product like this, which I personally and professionally believe is a disruptive product to our industry, I mentioned in the beginning of the presentation that Moshe Nur has also established another company called Nur Digital Text. We are now in the process of merging Nur Digital Text into Nur Ink Innovations. And Nur Digital Text is a company that is developing a unique and very smart printing platform, which I'll describe in a few minutes. Together, these two are going to be definitely, in my opinion, growing powers in the industry. Next, please. So, what is Nur Digital Text all about? And I'm calling this a double revolution, and I'll explain in a minute. Nur Digital Text is developing an industrial, high-speed, automated DTG and DTF printer. The printer can print on DTF sheets, not roll-to-roll, and can print on a sheet in any size of up to 22 by 40 inches, enabling real on-demand production with no post-printing processing, meaning when you get a sheet, you don't have to cut it like you cut the jobs out of a roll today, meaning the sheet coming out of the printer is dry, cured, and ready either to ship to your client or to transfer immediately. It is a hybrid system, meaning it's supporting both DTG, direct to garment, and DTF. It's high speed and industrial with a speed of up to 800 letter size sheets per hour or 400 tabloid size sheets per hour. And again, as I said, the sheets are printed and cured inside the printer. So once the sheets come out of the printer, they are ready to transfer or ready to ship to your client. The printer, of course, will make use of Nur Ink's powder-free DTF inks, so no powder in this printer. And when printing in the DTG format or workflow, no pre-treatment for DTG. The pre-treatment will be done internally, automatically, depending on the job, inside the printer, just before printing the garment. The two companies together will address markets with value which is enormous in our perspective. So the printers, together with the different products that Nur Ink has to offer or is offering today, like the white water-based pigment dispersions, the inks for textile, and of course the powderless, powder-free DTF inks, are amazing markets with a beautiful double-digit yearly growth that really ensures that we are diversified into different markets. Plus, we address markets which are very, very stable and growing. And now, today, at this point, we are at a point where really this arrow explains it all. We are in a stage where we started selling our products. We are launching the powder-free, powderless DTF inks, and we'll discuss soon when and where we're going to launch it and when it's going to be ready for sales. We are about to sign additional multi-year international ink supply agreements. Next year, during the second and third quarters of 2026, we will start selling the printer made by Nur Digital Text. And by beginning of 2027, we forecast achieving profitability. More or less, that's all I wanted to cover about the company. And now I think it'll be great if we can show the magic in action.
You know, that was a great presentation and a double revolution. Also, breaking news here is that we have, you know, the timeline for when the printers are going to arrive and also the ink. Great, significant changes and very interesting information. MJ?
Thank you.
Yes, it certainly was then, and it comes directly from someone who played a role in creating those legacies. And now that we've heard the story behind the company, it's time to experience the innovation firsthand. So, Eliav, as you mentioned, please take us into the showcase.
Can you guys see the movie?
Yes.
Yes, we are seeing it.
Okay,
Right.
because I can't see it running at the moment for some reason.
We're showing now the imaging on the printer itself.
Okay, so you can narrate it, Dan. Go ahead.
Sure. So what's being shown right now is obviously the printer printing the images, but one of the most incredible things, and if you look at this closely, where we've stopped the image right the film right now, there's no powder there. Absolutely no powder. Anyone that's in this business, in the DTF business, this is one of the most messy parts of the business. There's also some concerns about health and things like that. But look, perfectly clean. And now what happens is, of course, it's coming through. The other side is starting to be going through the curing device. And as the image is cured, it comes through on the other side, and it's ready for heat pressing. Now, there's another amazing technology here as well. It's hot peel, so it's ready immediately to be transferred to the garment. In fact, that's what's going to happen now. Yeah, it's instant hot peel. And this is, you know, from a workflow standpoint, this is probably one of the most important parts, besides the powder, of course, is that one of the bottlenecks for everyone is the fact that you have to wait and let the images cool. When you say that, Eliav?
Absolutely, a bottleneck and a limitation. Absolutely.
Absolute limitation. There's so many automating things that are coming along the line too for automating this whole process. And once you take that step out of not having powder, that's amazing. He's showing, by the way, right now, Eliav, he's showing the brilliant images that come off as well. And cutting the images.
Right.
So he's now placing it on the heat press. Placing the image on the garment, I mean, and he's about ready to heat press the garment. And I think you said it's about 20 seconds for heat pressing.
I think the heat press here was 20 seconds, correct?
Okay.
And some of the other jobs you will see later on, like a bag or others, can go down to 5 to 15 seconds, depending on the fabric or the garment itself.
That's also a huge time-saving factor, because heat pressing is now becoming one of the major issues with huge production runs. And he's now taking the film off the garment, and he's going to show us the garment. It's beautiful, and he's stretching it. That's another thing about this ink. Talk about the stretchability a bit.
I will actually show this.
Okay, great.
Examples I have here with me once the movie ends.
So now he's cutting the image, and he's going to make a transfer to I think it's to a bag.
Right.
He hits it with the heat press, and it's almost available immediately. There we go. Now he's doing a hot peel and showing us the bag. And by the way, the whites are brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Great reds in the strawberries.
Indeed, they are.
Yeah, but a brilliant white there.
Yeah, again, shivers. You know, Dan, not having the powder results in two outcomes. One is the fact that the film layer is as thin as 1 micron, and the powder, being a very mechanic glue that bonds the ink to the garment or to the object, is a very tough material once it dries, and it eliminates the stretchability you mentioned. And if I may, I will show a few samples I have here with me. That's the same shirt that Ofer pressed before, and as you can see, stretchability is absolutely amazing, but that's one thing. The second thing is the hand feel. This is another, okay, and here I go. That's another issue of DTF. And as you can see, this is not a typical DTF job. Usually DTF jobs are small logos or icons or you know, something like this. However, and because the hand feel of powder-based DTF is of a sticker, and not having the powder results in a much, much softer hand feel.
Oh.
By far, very similar to DTG. Somewhere in between, I would say if DTG is here and DTF is here, you were closer, much closer to DTG in the hand feel. Still, there is a feel, yes, but nowhere near as the regular DTF. I can, of course, scratch it. The durability is great. Stretchability is outstanding. I've got a white shirt as well, showing the same images. We get the same colors. It's really amazing.
Two quick questions.
Hat, bag, whatever, you know. Go ahead.
Yeah, two quick questions. One is, do you have to use any special film?
No, not at all.
Okay. And
Not at all.
washability. What are you telling your customers about washability?
Okay, and now this is a very good point, and it all depends on what the customer needs, what the end user needs to achieve. If you need the Nike standard, you know, 60 wash cycles, 50 wash cycles, etc., I would say you need to press for much longer than 20 seconds. Okay, that's the issue. If you need, you know, anywhere less than 10 washes, then 15 to 60 seconds, sometimes a bit more, would be required. But you know, jobs like giveaways, hats, bags, tote bags, require anywhere between 5 and 15 seconds of press time. Wash fastness is definitely an issue, and we're improving that as we go. The current beta site version requires a longer press time in order to achieve superb wash resistance, wash fastness.
Okay, and just adding.
Sorry, Dan. Yeah. One important thing about this: the inks can work with the powder as well. So let's say we have a customer who's with our powder-free inks, and now he has a job or an order for 100 T-shirts that require the best wash fastness. He doesn't want to take any chances. Turn on the powder.
Great.
Okay. Very cool.
I don't like it, but
yeah, of course. Let's talk about price, you know, per square meter. How does it compare? Let's just as a comparison to normal DTF, DTG, and your product. How would you compare them price-wise?
You'd be saving anywhere between $0.5 to $0.8 per square meter, or let's say up to 0.15 cents per square foot, because you're eliminating the powder. We are not going to sell the inks to the end user at any higher price than the current DTF inks we offer, which are using powder.
Okay, well, we kind of started asking the questions, but we do have some questions that have been submitted. Would you be okay if we go into the FAQ section?
Of course, pleasure.
Of course. Hey, you did kind of mention you think you'll release your ink in second or third quarter 2026?
No, the inks are now being tested by a few customers as a beta site. We are adding 4 to 5 beta site testing sites this month, September and October. We are going to showcase, and this is the first, by the way, that movie is the first exposure. The movie you showed now is the first time we're showing this product live to the outside world. So really,
that's breaking news.
Breaking news, right?
we both get shivers too, okay?
And the next breaking news is that we are going to showcase these inks at Printing United in Orlando, in ISS Expo in Long Beach, at ITMA Singapore, all within the next 3 months. Sorry, and I forgot one exhibition, which is Viscom Italy on the 1st of October. So we have 4 shows in 4 months where we're going to showcase these inks. We are aiming at commercial release of these powder-free DTF inks at November, December of this year, meaning Q4 of 2025. The release of the printer for sales is estimated at second and third quarter of 2026.
Okay, I misunderstood that.
Sure thing.
Yeah. That's amazing. At Printing United, do you have your own booth, or are you working at someone else's booth?
No, and that brings to mind the business model of Nur Ink. Nur Ink sells our products under a private label OEM business
Okay.
model, where our partners, who are usually most commonly are the printer manufacturers, and they sell our inks as their own product. So you might be buying a printer from, just as an example, from Ricoh or Epson, and buying the inks from Ricoh and Epson, and you wouldn't know that the inks are made by Nur Ink Innovations.
Okay.
The inks are going to be shown at Printing United and ISS Expo with one of our worldwide partners, a company called DCC, and that's again first time that
Great.
we are announcing this. Again, breaking news. And they will be showing the inks in 2 printers in both shows, and also in other exhibitions. In Viscom Italy, again, it's one of our partners. They are not ready to disclose their name, but whoever will see powder-free inks can imagine it's coming from us.
And in ITMA in Singapore will be another company, or?
Correct.
Okay. MJ, why don't you take the next question?
Perfect. Ilya, we've heard rumors that other companies are working on a similar ink. Do you hold patents on your new ink, and how does it compare to competitors who may be developing something similar?
Yep. Excellent question, MJ. First of all, yes, we already submitted 2 patent applications on our powder-free DTF ink technology, so we are playing safe on that front. And yes, there are other companies working on powderless, powder-free DTF inks. We took a very, I think, innovative and different approach compared with those other companies, and that is that we decided to incorporate the glue, let's call it the glue, or the powder replacement jettable adhesive, into the CMYK and white inks, and not as a separate clear ink channel that the other companies we know of took the approach of making the or adding the jettable adhesive into a clear ink that requires a special printer with a dedicated ink channel for that clear ink. When we took that approach, we knew it's going to take longer to develop or complete development of the powder-free inks, but we decided to do so in order to be a retrofit, that our powder-free DTF inks will be a retrofit to any existing DTF printer out there in the market, without any modifications required from the printer, nor from the powder or oven, powder shaker, applicator, or oven. And we cracked it.
Very, very interesting.
Yes.
You'd mentioned before that you're selling the DTF ink, at least right now, through OEMs. Let's say in the retrofit market, how would you do that? Would you sell it under your brand name, or would you go through a reseller channel, or how do you expect to do that? Of course, that's probably next year or much longer time period, but how would you do that?
Okay, so no, we will not be selling the inks under our own brand name.
Okay.
They will be available through our partners, printer manufacturers partners, and national resellers very soon. Some news, and I owe you, Dan, so you'll be the first to announce.
Please do. We love that kind of news.
US,
yeah.
I know the US distribution plan following the soft launch at Printing United and the full launch at ISS Expo.
Okay.
Definitely exciting news are coming, so stay tuned.
Fantastic. MJ?
Okay, so will all manufacturing remain in Israel, or are you planning production facilities in other countries as well?
Okay, so we are planning manufacturing in the US very soon,
Really?
actually, and that, yes, not finalized yet, but yes, we will be manufacturing in the US probably by the second quarter of 2026, which is just around the corner, and later on also in Southeast Asia, Not sure yet exactly when, but probably towards the third or fourth quarter of 2026. The reason is, there are a few reasons. One is disaster recovery. It's always good to have a backup plan and not to rely on one side only. Putting your eggs only in one basket is risky.
Very difficult.
And
True.
that's one thing. The second, shipping water over the water is not a very smart idea financially. It
Yeah.
costs, the shipping costs have gone so high in the past 5-6 years that it amplified the need for us to manufacture much closer to our target markets. And the US being one of the main markets for us, that will be the first place where we will be manufacturing the inks in.
Great.
Okay. I actually have two questions here. One is, I was really especially interested in your financial report, which is, by the way, where I started to hear rumblings about your company. And talk about selling a white water-based pigment dispersion ink to other manufacturers. Just out of curiosity, why would they buy from you?
Okay. First of all, let's describe in a few words what is the water-based pigment dispersion.
Sure.
When an ink manufacturer starts to develop and or manufacture water-based pigment inks, the base raw material for that formulation is what we call a water-based pigment dispersion, which comes in different colors. Cyan, magenta, yellow, black are the four basic colors, then orange, green, blue, red, purple, violet, etc. And the trickiest and most difficult water-based pigment dispersion to develop and manufacture is the white pigment dispersion. And the reason is it's very difficult to develop a water-based white pigment dispersion which will be stable over time, meaning it won't change its particle size distribution over time. Only very, very few companies in the world know how to have the know-how to develop and manufacture such a product. And when we started developing this product, we intended it to be for our own use, so we won't need to rely on one supplier or two suppliers only. And meeting my colleagues and partners from ink manufacturers who are competitors, but still we are all friends and partners, we spoke about this, and I said, oh yeah, we develop our own, we manufacture our own white pigment dispersion. They said, oh, so why don't you sell it to us? I went like this, went back home, discussed it with our board of directors, and they said, why not? It doesn't hurt Nur Ink's ink development. It's another another business line with a different market to address, more diversification in the business plan. And they would buy from us because the product is better, and they don't need to buy again from only from one or two suppliers without mentioning names.
Sure. Oh, yes, there's only one or two. Hey, another question that is a follow-on to that, because it's unique, is you have a wallpaper ink listed on your website. Tell us about that product and what advantages it offers. Okay.
So that product is still in development, together with a partner who's one of the leading manufacturers of wallpapers, manufacturers in wallpapers worldwide. What is unique about it is that, first of all, it's water-based pigment ink, so it's environmentally friendly. It carries out all the certifications required for installing the wallpaper in the children's bedroom, and not
That's a
in
huge
office
issue.
environment. Exactly. It's a very big issue because we don't know until, I never knew that until I got into this business, that wallpapers printed today that we sometimes install in our bedroom or living room or office sometimes output volatile organic compounds into the air even months after they've been installed, and they eliminate the passing through of moisture which might be caught between the wall and the wallpaper. So mold might be developing between the wallpaper and the wall. Our inks allow for the moisture to go through the printed wallpaper.
Okay.
In addition, our inks can create layers that can be felt and seen on the wallpaper itself. So we get a 2.5D structure on the wallpaper. That's something that is impossible today with water-based pigment inks. You can do that with UV curable inks. It's very easy to create the layers, but with water-based pigment inks, these are the first, and we have patents on that as well, MJ. It's the first time that layers and structure could be created with water-based pigment inks. So I hope I answered that question, Dan.
That's a great, just to follow on to that. So how would you cure that? I mean, if you're doing layers, would it be a UV type curing?
It's a combination of different IR infrared curing mechanism, different technologies of different wavelengths of infrared together at the same time, and printing, scanning. It's not a single pass, of course, it's scanning. So you create, every scan creates another micron or a few microns of a layer. And once it goes industrial with industrial printheads like the Kyocera or Seiko printheads, this can be printed quite fast, actually, even in layers.
All of a sudden, I have another question for you, okay? Sorry.
Danny's loving this.
This is great. This is great news, by the way, another breaking news. Hey, would it be like a latex type product or a resin type product, or would it be just a traditional pigment ink?
Even if I knew the exact answer, I probably would refrain from answering that question.
Okay.
I appreciate you understanding.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Go ahead, MJ.
Okay, about your direct-to-textile and roll-to-roll inks, are they environmentally friendly as well, and what advantages do they bring to the market?
Sure. So absolutely, they're environmentally friendly because, as I said, all of our inks, before even starting to formulate a potential formulation, all of our inks must be environmentally friendly. And if we're talking about textile, by definition, before we even mix the first raw material, they have to adhere to GOTS 7 and Ecotex EcoPassport certificates. So yes, to answer your question, they are environmentally friendly. Their advantages are the hand feel, first of all, the versatility of technologies that they support. We develop unique formulations for each printhead that we are asked to develop the inks for. Again, as I mentioned before, our partners are printer manufacturers, and when they come to us and ask us to develop an ink for, let's say, roll-to-roll fabric printing, they don't only say we need cyan, magenta, yellow, black, orange, green, red, and purple. We also needed to run on, let's say, Seiko RC1536 heads, or Kyocera KJ4B heads, or Ricoh Gen 5 heads. And we need them to work at different speeds and different applications, and with or without pre-treatment, which is the biggest topic in DTG. If the powder is the biggest topic in DTF, pre-treatment is the biggest issue in DTG. And we are working with a few partners today, including Nur Digital Text, by the way, as I mentioned before, for the printer, to have either an ink that will not require pre-treatment, or pre-treatment which will be inline the printer and be applied to the garment or to the fabric just before applying the inks. So advantages are also commercial. Being an OEM private label business model based company ensures our customers who are printer manufacturers that we will never compete with them. They will never find a similar, not the same, not even a similar product out there in the market being offered to their customers or other customers as a competing product, which is one of the most attractive points to our customers in our company and products.
Great. Yeah, it puts a lot more salespeople on the street as well, selling your products. So, hey, you did already talk about the 4 trade shows, but if you wouldn't mind, just tell us the 4 trade shows you're going to be at again. And also, how do people get in touch with you about reselling or OEM opportunities for your inks?
Okay, so the 4 trade shows coming up are Viscom Italy, which is on the 1st of October.
That's a great show, by the way.
It is. In Milan, which is a great place to be. Beginning of October is also excellent weather and great food and wine. I mean, don't get me started on that. We decide Milan, food and wine, and the weather, magic.
Okay.
And powder-free inks. Yep. Great, deadly combination. Then Printing United in Orlando, ITMA Singapore a week after Orlando, and ISS Expo in Long Beach at the end of January 2026. Um, how do people get in touch with me or with Nur Ink Innovations? Either through LinkedIn, through our page in LinkedIn, or our website, or if they can ask you if they don't find us. And of course, I'm sure you'll forward
We'd
the
be
email
happy
to
to.
us.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And thank you for that
You
in
know,
advance.
we really appreciate your time today, Ilya. This has been great. In fact, we have to go back through and see. There's probably 4 or 5 breaking news stories that we have that we
Yeah.
can that we're going to run with. By the way, so it's all public, and everyone should be watching this again and again because there's some great information here. Thanks again for joining us on StreamIt. We really appreciate it.
Guys, thank you very much for having me. It was a pleasure. Hope
Yeah,
to
it
see
was
you
a lot
soon,
of
guys.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, you know that MJ has a piano right behind her. She
Oh,
should sing for
see.
us.
That's true.
Anyway, thank you, Ilya. We really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you, Leah. What an inspiring journey. It's always great to hear about entrepreneurs like Motionor and how they started and built success. And Ilya, you've been such a huge part of this industry. Everything that you talked about today, it was really impressive.
Absolutely right, MJ. You know, if our viewers want to learn more about Nur Ink Innovations, just head over to www.nur-ink.com. And as Eliav said, if you would like to get in touch and you cannot contact them through the website, you can contact us here at dan@worldimagingnews.com, and we'll be happy to relay the information to Eliav and his team. You know, and the exciting part is we've got many more WinStream sessions like this coming up. MJ, if a company wants to be featured, what's the best way to get involved?
It's really simple, Dan. Just send us an email at dan@worldimaginenews.com or contact us directly through our website.
Thank you, MJ. And of course, a big thank you to everyone who joined us today, and especially Eliav. It
Yes.
was a great session. Really,
Yeah.
really enjoyed it. Really appreciate him sharing his time and his insights. Hey, before we wrap up, don't forget to subscribe to Win Quick News, our weekly newsletter. It's the best way to stay on top of what's happening in the digital graphics world. You know, we always have great info and videos from around the world, including ISA in Las Vegas, DTF Expo, FESPA in Brazil.
And then let's not forget, we also covered two fantastic shows
Mm-hmm.
here in Bogota this June, Createx and Andigrafica.
And that's right, MJ. And speaking of shows, you've got something really exciting coming up. Where are you going to be in a few weeks?
I am so excited then. World Imaging News Latino has been named one of the few media sponsors for FESPA
Mhm.
Mexico, and I'll be representing us there. And we've got plenty of more surprises planned for our readers and listeners, so you have to stay tuned.
Fantastic, MJ. And I'm also excited. World Imaging News is also a media sponsor for Printing United in Orlando this October. It's our first year as a full media sponsor, and we have a full schedule of activities planned during the show.
No doubt about that. And then you forgot to mention another big project, our brand new Win Update weekly broadcast.
Ah, yes, good catch. We've just wrapped up several beta test runs of Win Update, our new weekly online newscast taken from info in our Win Quick News newsletter. We're planning a full launch in the coming weeks. By the way, as a side note, in our first Win Update test, our featured story was about Nur's brand new ink. And now, I was going to say we have the scoop directly, but we have like 5 scoops from
Yeah.
the source. I really love it. Hey, in the meantime, please visit us at worldimagingnews.com.
And at worldimaginenewslatino.com.
That's StreamIt, folks. I'm Dan Barefoot. Until the next time, be healthy and keep smiling.
And I'm MJ. Manténganse saludables y sigan sonriendo.